The Queen has appeared on the Buckingham Palace balcony with members of her family on the first day of her Jubilee celebrations. As she is being protected by the royal family because of her mental and physical frailty, Express.co.uk has been told. Her Majesty edged onto the balcony of Buckingham Palace, her family in tow, to appreciate the thousands gathered at the mall celebrating her historic 70-year reign. Dressed in a sleek light blue dress and hat, accompanied by a diamond brooch and signature pearl necklace and earrings, she beamed at the flypast, pointing out the most noteworthy events of the day to her great-great-grandson, Prince George. Doubt had been cast on whether Her Majesty would make a public appearance at all due to recent mobility issues. The palace said her presence would only be confirmed on the day, leading many to wonder if they would see Prince Charles in her place on the balcony. But those whispers were soon quashed, and the jubilant crowds got what they came for. Many commentators have since said that it is unlikely the Queen will make any further appearances, although they cannot be ruled out. Speaking ahead of the Jubilee celebrations, Howard Hodgson, a royal commentator and author of Charles, the Man Who Will Be King, said the firm's members have been keeping a keen eye on the Queen's mental and physical frailty, ensuring that she is protected and does not overdo it. He said the coronavirus pandemic coupled with the tragic death of her longtime husband Prince Philip had created a situation in which the Queen's health, both mental and physical, had taken a dramatic turn for the worse. Mr. Hodgson told Express.co.uk, "The Queen is 96, and two important things have happened recently that have probably made life very much more difficult for her, and I think the royal family has every right to keep her frailty and maybe even her mental frailty. When you get to 96 nothing works quite as well as it once did, and the situation is that the Queen deserves to have every dignity, and as a result of that I think they will make sure we don't see too much of her." Asked if he believed the family itself was keen to protect the Queen's physical and mental frailty, he said, "I think so, yes, and I think she has every right to see out these last few years of her life with as much dignity as possible. I think that is what will happen." The Queen's health has probably suffered some acceleration of deterioration because of two things that have happened, the first being her husband. She always loved Prince Philip, and the situation was that when you actually lose somebody that you've been with for over 70 years it is a very big drain on you and it must be quite lonely without him. Very often, when one partner dies, the other one either dies in a short space of time too or could be in a situation of actually becoming much more reclusive and depressed. The other thing that's happened is the coronavirus pandemic. If you do something every day you won't lose it, and I think COVID-19 broke huge amounts of routine with the Queen because everyone was locked up. The Queen and Philip spent much of the coronavirus lockdown at Windsor Castle, away from the usual hubbub of fulfilling royal duties. Later, Buckingham Palace announced the Queen would not be attending Friday's Thanksgiving service at St. Paul's Cathedral after experiencing some discomfort during the parade and flypast. Members of the royal family travelled to Horse Guards Parade in 3 carriages, with the first carrying the Duchesses of Cambridge and Cornwall and Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. The second carried the Earl and Countess of Wessex and their 2 children Lady Louise Windsor and James, Viscount Severn, to the parade ground. While the third took the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester and the Princess Royal's husband Vice Admiral Sir Timothy Lawrence to watch the Queen's birthday parade. More than 1,200 soldiers from the Household Division of the 1st Battalion Irish Guards, 200 horses and 400 musicians then paid tribute to Her Majesty with the usual military spectacle. The Queen, who has experienced episodic mobility problems in recent months, did not travel to Horse Guards Parade as she has done in previous years and instead waited at Buckingham Palace for the traditional balcony appearance and RAF flypast. The Prince of Wales, Duke of Cambridge and the Princess Royal were on horseback inside the parade ground to take part. Prime Minister Boris Johnson and his wife Carrie watched from the stands. Following the parade, an 82-gun salute was fired from Hyde Park by the King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery, which is named after the Queen's father King George VI. Meanwhile 124 volleys, an extra 42 for the City of London, came from the Tower of London courtesy of the Honourable Artillery Company.